I wanted to take some time to address token boards and reinforcement systems again because I had some questions and I just want to make sure that I'm really clear with this because it is such an important tool for you to have for students who have either significant behaviors or just have a hard time getting their work finished. So this is a token board that I have used for early childhood kids, for younger kiddos, for early elementary. I might add a couple of more spots on here and have them earn 5 tokens instead of 3, but for early childhood, typically I would use about 3. I have on the back side whatever their reinforcements are, things that they like, things you've talked to them or mom and dad or just noticed in your classroom that they love. So when I sit down to work with them, I'm going to say, what are you working for today? And this is what I would call a choice board. So let's say that they pick tricycle. I'm going to put the tricycle on the front, say, okay, we're working for tricycle. Then it depends on what you're doing with the kiddo. If it is a work completion that they need to do, let's say they're writing their name and their name is Tom. So when they finish the T, you might be like, good job, you finished your T, keep going. They write their O, oh, I love your O, look how nice that looks. And then they kind of start wandering off and they're looking around and they're not really wanting to do it. And you say, remember, we're working for tricycle, finish, we'll go write tricycle. They write their M, nice job, you earned the tricycle, let's go. And then immediately you're going to get up, take that kiddo, or maybe a parent's going to take the kiddo, somebody else in the building, but immediately they're going to get the tricycle. If they are not reinforced immediately with what they have earned, this is going to lose its power. So they need to be immediately reinforced. The other thing that you might do with this, if earning the tokens is not really powerful enough for them, you might pair the token with a Skittle. So let's say, or an M&M or something really tiny, a tiny piece of Twizzler. We've taken Skittles and actually divided them into fourths. So maybe they earn a fourth of a Skittle with their penny or their token, whatever you choose to use here. So as you are giving them the penny, you're also giving them a little tiny piece of Skittle. Okay, and then let's say that they're not working for work completion. Let's say that they're working to have safe hands. Maybe they're a slapper. And so you might put a picture here of safe hands so that you can refer back to that visual. Let's say they start to slap you as they're working and say, remember, we're working for tricycle, safe hands. And you point to that safe hands picture to remind them that's what they're working for. And then let's say you wait 10 seconds and they've had safe hands. Nice job with your safe hands. So if they hit you, you ignore that hit. You don't say, stop hitting. You say, safe hands, and remind them what you do want them to have. And then immediately after they've had that, then you need to reinforce them. Okay. So if you have a kiddo who's upper elementary, middle school, you might use something that looks more like this. So I made this for an upper elementary kiddo. He was pretty significant. He's actually the kiddo that I talked about in Why Does He Do That? So you can see on here, I want him to have safe hands, quiet voice, and a calm body. What I did with this is I also put on the inside, he has his reinforcement board, his choice board. And then on this side, he has a visual schedule. So I would put maybe the morning schedule on the front, and then on the back, I would put his afternoon schedule so that it's all there, but it's not quite so overwhelming if you break it up into 2 parts of the day. Okay, so on the front, I've taken his visual schedule and broken it down into first, next, then. So first he's going to have circle time, next he's going to have reading, then he's going to have sensory. And then down on the bottom, he's chosen to work for bubbles, which is fine. Then instead of having tokens here, I'm going to just use a dry erase marker and put check marks in the boxes. That's a little bit more age appropriate for our older kids. The other thing that I put in here is, because he was so significant, he had reinforcement procedure. So on his procedure, it was, I earned the. So once he earned whatever was here, I would take this and I would put it here. Okay. And then it says, Jay may have the reinforcer for 3 minutes. When the timer goes off, he may ask for 1 more minute, please. When the timer goes off, the teacher will say, it's time to go back to the room, and Jay will say, okay. Jay and his teacher will walk back to the room. So not only only was he able to know exactly what was happening, any adult who was working with him would know exactly what was happening. And if you work with kids with significant needs, you're going to have probably a number of paras who help you out, sometimes speech pathologists, the OT, the PT. So any adult who's working with him understands what his procedures are. Now, with this kid, if he didn't walk back to the classroom, say he started to walk back and then he eloped down the hallway because he wanted to go see a fan somewhere, well, then he knew that he would lose this reinforcer for the day. So in here, if he lost a reinforcer, we would, instead of putting it back up on his choice board for him to earn later, we would take it and put it down here in the pocket so that anybody who worked for him knew that was no longer a choice for the day. But it didn't completely go away. He could still see it was down there because he was a kid with high anxiety, and he thought that if it went away, it was gone forever, because people would say, you're just going to lose it forever. And so I wanted him to know it wasn't forever, it was just for the day, so we would put it down there. The other thing that I put in here for him is, like, here's his recess story. So that's here in a pocket, so whoever's working with him knows his recess story. Here are his work procedures. Here's a consequence map so that he knows what happens if he doesn't come in from recess. He knows what happens with that, and then so does the adult who's working with him. So when you have kids with some significant behaviors and significant needs, this is a great way to support them. It kind of binds it all together, and then whoever is working with your kiddo can know exactly what those procedures are.